I still ain't found that other rattle. Although I found a few places that were not very tight, like there's some connecting places up in here. So that's loose. Yeah, see, that's just got a little screw in it, right there. That one there looks like a little flat-headed screw. I don't know if I can tighten that up. I might can. I tell you what, you can have so much fun on an old car if you're interested in it. I've had a lot of old cars, and I've always been happiest when I just had one. Because usually if I've just got one, then I'll stay interested in it enough so I can just keep fixing things and fixing things and fixing things. And little by little just make it better and better. I find it when I've got more than one, it's hard to hold interest in just one because I got so many of them. Sometimes people are just better off if they got one car that they're really fond of. Now this one right here ain't got a screw in it. I could put one in it. I could shoot a screw down in there if I could get my screwdriver to go down in there without dropping it. I could line that up with the old hole there. Yeah, I can do that. That didn't work. I think after all that work, we ought to start up and hear a run, don't you? Let's do that. Where's that coming from? Ah, I found it. Look, that's the turn signal thing. I was wondering about this the other night. I was thinking, I bet that thing's loose. That's my rattle. That's it right there. Alright. I was thinking about this the other night because I remember when I reworked these lights, and I remember how they go on here. And if you'll see, that light sits right here. And this thing's like a clamp, and that clamp goes over it. And that's all that is. These two little wing nuts on either side pull that clamp in toward the bumper. But that bumper is not holding that in place. Probably what I need to do, I wonder if I could shoot a screw into this that come out against that bumper to lock that in place where it wouldn't move. Like if I put a screw right in there, one of those little self-tapping screws. This ain't the easiest place to get to, and I'm pretty sure you can't see it the way I'm holding it because I'm holding it as good as I want to. But if you look at the center of the screen, see that wing nut right below that wing nut? That thing is like a clamp, like a U-shaped clamp. And when you tighten that wing nut, it's supposed to push that clamp up against that bumper. The wing nut is tight, and see this is the actual light, and it's being held in place by that wing nut, but that wing nut isn't tied up against the bumper. It's got room. Maybe I can magnetize it all right there. See, that's got room to move. If I could come in here, with one of those screws like I'm using and shoot it right in through that, that would go up and lock that, I believe. Let me get that long wrench I was using just now. By the way, I love doing this kind of stuff. It's fun to just be making a car better. I'm not going to be able to get an angle like that. I mean, I'm going to have to come from back out here. I might have to find another way to stick something up in there and wedge it. Almost like if I could stick a screwdriver or something. Not a way to get to that from up on top. What if I could take that off? Stick something down in behind that. Okay, here's an idea. Maybe I could come out here. Maybe I could stick something up in there. Maybe I could take and wedge a piece of metal up under this edge here. I wonder if these screws go all the way through to those wing nuts. Yeah, they do. Okay, so maybe I could take this screw out, put 2 or 3 washers behind it, screw it back in there. Oh, let's try that. Where am I going to put y'all? I don't know how much battery y'all got left and how much longer we're going to be able to continue this relationship before you give up on me, but that might work. Oh, the joy. Oh, the joy. Josh would be proud of me now. See me out here working on his old car. They would. My big old fat head's in the way. Some of them used to tell me my big old fat head was in the way. He'd say, hey, your big old fat head's in the way. He didn't say it. He didn't say it exactly like that. My brother loved me. He just, yeah, he loved to pick on me. I give him something to do. Look at that. Okay. So, that's working. I'm gonna get a screwdriver gun for that. I think. I might be getting a little bit dizzy from laying up in there like that. Okay, maybe I can get the other side loose too. Ow! That hurt. Let's see how you are. Okay. That hurt. That hurt my finger. That reminds me of a joke Dave Gardner used to tell. I don't know how many of y'all are old enough to remember Dave Gardner. He has he was kind of done away out of comedy because he was politically incorrect, even in his day, but he used to revel in his political correctness back then. But he used to tell this joke. He used to tell this joke about he was riding down the road. No, he'd tell a joke, the preacher man riding down the road, and the preacher man comes up behind this guy driving the car, and he can tell By the way the car is wiggling and waggling back and forth in the road, that fella driving that car was more than likely inebriated, and the preacher says, Lord, bless that poor soul in front of me. I believe he's inebriated. And then he rides another mile or two and he says, I better get around this drunk before he crashes and kills all of us. So he steps out and he floors it and he hits a slick spot and he loses control and he slides around sideways and he rolls down a bank 5 or 6 times and winds up down in the valley, and he's laying there looking up at the sky. After a while, this drunk guy comes wandering down the hill, and the drunk guy looks in the window and says, You all right there, preacher? And the preacher says, Yes, thank you, me. And the drunk says, Well, you better let him ride with me, because by the way you drive, you're going to kill him. So this is how I finally got these things to stop rattling. I put them back in here and I drove a Tech screw into them here. And that's firm now, that doesn't rattle a bit. So there was a gap between this piece and this bumper that was rattling. The Tech screw basically pushes out on this against the bumper, and that stopped the rattling. Now this morning I noticed a rattle last night, and I came up here and it was this tag was rattling, and I had this piece of rubber where I had cut off one of the heater lines, so I stuck it under here and it stops it from rattling. But then this morning I noticed this side over here was rattling. It goes like that. So I'm gonna get another piece. I actually have 2 of these, because I cut one off each side, and I'm going to put one over here on this side to keep that one from rattling. The doorway.